Hi, my name is Katie Helliwell. I am the psychic expert. I've got over 20 years experience working with spirit, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'll be dropping content every single day to this channel. All you need to do is like and subscribe, and also just let me know if what I'm producing for you is actually what you really want to see, or if there's any other content that you've been thinking about and would like to know more insight on. There is nothing I can't explain and give you insight on, so it'll be a pleasure to hear from you. Also, please make sure you follow all my other channels as well, my Instagram, my TikTok, and my Facebook business page. If you go into the description on this video, can't get my words out, if you go into the description, you will be able to see the links there to my Facebook group, Talk Spirit to Me. I'm live in there 3 times a week, and it'd be a pleasure to have you. Anyway, enough from me. Enjoy the trainings.
Right, what I'm going to teach you today is all about how to survive as an empath. Now, this is something that is going to be a catalyst to your growth and your expansion. Hello, Katie. How are you? Great name. So it's going to be a catalyst for your expansion. It's going to be something that's really going to help you, but it's something that's not spoken about often, and it's something that I myself never took seriously, and a lot of psychics and people with gifts and people who are interested in this kind of work don't take seriously either. So I really want you to pay attention to this, because this will help you grow so much. This will help you grow so much. All right. Thank you, Katie. I don't actually feel unwell. It's like just coughing and just sneezing, and then my voice goes weird. But then when I'm off camera, it's like, don't feel that bad. It's really weird. Anyway, so we need to learn, in order to excel where you're at, and in order to grow and really feel your connection to the core, and be able to open up the other ways of connecting to spirit and hearing your guides more fluidly, and actually being able to expand and grow your spiritual connection without having it impact on you absorbing everyone's emotions around you, we need to make sure that we close you down and disconnect you from spirit. Now, again, this is not something I ever thought was a necessity. It's not something I even considered. And I was just like, well, why would we need to do that? Like, why? Why do we need to close down from spirit? Like, what's the point? And no one ever spoke about it. Like, I went to numerous trainings, never quite felt as if I belonged at any of the trainings or they were suitable for me. But I went to numerous trainings, and literally this was never spoken about. This was never shared, never talked about, really. No one ever mentioned it. No one ever mentioned that being an empath, you feel everyone's emotions and energy. So it was something that, if no one mentions it, and these people are the experts and they work with spirit every day, it's not something that will naturally come to you. But what I've noticed was, and what held me back in the very beginning was, when I was reading for these people, I'd feel great in the moment. When I was connecting to spirit, I'd feel like, oh my gosh, I made some kind of breakthrough with them. Sometimes it was positive, sometimes it was a bit like, oh, they're just annoying me. But most of the time it was positive. But then afterwards, I'd have this energetic slump. And the only way I can describe it is if you've gone, you know, at Christmas time, if you're a mom on here, sorry to the dads, sorry to the men, but if you're a mom at Christmas time, we run around like crazy women. And we do everything, and we're at all the parties, we buy all the presents, we do all the things, and then it comes to like the day after Boxing Day, and then you're just like what has happened? I just need a day just in my pajamas, and you're just looking at the mess in the house, and you're just there with your cup of tea thinking, oh, like that energetic slump. So you have like an energetic slump. So obviously, when we're going about our day and doing different things in life, we can't afford to have energetic slumps, because you need your energy up, and it's not a comfortable vibration to be in. The more that you're in an energetic slump where you just can't be bothered, or you just feel like, oh, or it just feels like more of an effort, then your connection to spirit just dwindles down into more or less nothing, and you feel more disconnected than you've ever felt in your entire life. So in order to be able to access the highest levels of guidance, and in order to be able to feel comfortable in like large crowds or around certain individuals, or to feel that you're being guided and to hear and activate different things around you. Say if you've always wanted to see spirit or hear them, or maybe you want to pass on a great message, maybe you want to connect for you and receive at the highest vibration. And the highest vibration is where it's really clear. So you're like, I know exactly what that message was. I know what I'm meant to do, I can feel it, I'm ready to go. So all of these things are really important. They're really important keys. And we don't want to just get that and just do nothing with it. We can't. Because if you don't disconnect from spirit, you are no stronger than your iPhone. Okay, just bear with me with that. Because if you left your iPhone on all the time, maybe you were live for like 24 hours or something, and then wondered why the battery's gone, wondered why it's not working. It's like, well, eventually your battery's going to die and your phone will stop working. And that's exactly the same as us. We take on all this emotion, we feel all the feels, and then we don't disconnect. We don't think to disconnect. We don't think to ground ourselves. We don't think it's a necessity. And if you go through all of the trainings online, if you were to Google now, on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, any of the platforms, or just Google in general, connection to spirit, it will come up with a whole host, pages and pages and pages, and videos and links and trainings and all these different things about connection to spirit. But if you put on there how to disconnect from spirit, there won't be a lot there. There won't be. Yet it's the main thing you need to master in order to be able to live a normal human life whilst working in this industry, and just be actually able to function as well. And to actually understand that you don't need to take on everyone's emotion. Because the emotion, if you are going to go into this as a job or as, part of your life, then the emotion you feel from some of these people will be huge. And do you want to be absorbing all of that? If you're a healer, do you want to be absorbing all the healing? All of the things that people come to you for healing for? Do you want to be taking all that on in your own vibration? No, because it's not yours to hold on to. It's not your emotion to process. It's somebody else's. So if you're absorbing it all the time, you're just going to be like, you're going to end up like a walking zombie. And you're not going to want to carry on doing this work. And the amount of people I have met over the years, not just in the 5 years I've been public here, but all of the years that I've been working with spirit, which is over 20 now. I can't believe it's been that long. Over 20 years, I've met so many people that say, oh, I thought I had a gift, or I thought I had ability, but then it just made me feel so drained. It just made me feel so exhausted, and it just wasn't for me. I can't do it. I just can't do this. I can't keep it up. And I was like, that's a common problem. Like, everybody seems to be having this. And my question to those people was, well, how do you disconnect? How do you release? How do you close down? How do you calm down your empathy? And they were like, I don't know what you're on about. So it just goes to show how it's not spoken about. Now, when I went in search of spiritual training and spiritual gifts, like you guys, you're entering spirituality where it's cool, it's fashionable, and people want to talk about it, and people are all like intrigued, and everyone's like, yeah, I'm spiritual. They're all buying all the jewelry, they're all rocking around in their crystals, and they're like, I'm spiritual. Everything's spiritual. Everything's really cool. And I love that. I absolutely love it. I've been waiting for this day for so long because I finally feel like I belong. Like, finally I'm in fashion. But it's like, back then, it wasn't like that. It was very almost frowned upon. Well, it was frowned upon. Very frowned upon. Very like, no one really understood it. No one really spoke about it. No one really had it as socially acceptable. And it was just one of those areas where the energy was a bit funky. It was a bit off. And I remember going to a spiritualist church and trying to find on Google or anything. And back then it was like dial-up internet with all the cables. So it was such a rigmarole to even try and search anything. But I was literally looking in bookstores, anywhere I could get my hands on, through the paper, for the adverts. I used to ring up the psychic hotlines, they're about £50,000 a minute, and ask, do you know how you can lose your gift? People would be like, what? What? Do you not have a question for spirit? And I'm like, no, my question is, how can I actually lose my gift? I must have been like the oddest person in the spiritual circuit. It must have been like, we've got a live one here. And I went to actually the spiritualist churches after driving past numerous times and finally pluckering up the courage to go in. I must have had numerous phone calls with them, and honestly, it was next level. It was a big thing for me to go into those churches. I don't know why. Looking back now, why I was so scared, but I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified. And so I went into the church, and the first thing I wanted to do was know how to disconnect. Everyone else wanted to know how to connect, how to unlock this, how to meet their spirit guides. And I was like, yeah, I'm good. I just want to know how to turn this off. And they were like, you want to know what? How to turn it off? Well, we can't help you with that. It's a gift. You can't turn it off. And I was like, but what? I didn't sign up for this. How do I turn this gift off? Like, just get rid of it. Let it out. I'm like, you can't turn it off. It's who you are. And I was like, no, who I am is who I choose to be. I want to turn it off. I want to disengage my gift. Please help me. And they were like, sit down in the chair and just try and learn about it and try and find some appreciation for it. I was like, it's like Kevin and Perry. Who's seen Kevin and Perry the movie? I was like, God, I don't want to do it. But the reason I wanted to turn it off wasn't because I was being disrespectful to spirit, the church, or anything like that. It was because I couldn't handle the way it made me feel, the fatigue, all the illnesses I had. Like, I was so poorly all the time, like not with just colds, but like poorly. I felt as if I was just so ill and so heavy, and just like everything was just a big deal, and just zapped. And it was almost like I was losing my sparkle. I was like losing my sparkle, and you've all got a sparkle in you, and mine was just diminishing. It was. So I wanted to get rid of it. I wanted to let this gift go, because if it was such a gift, where was the benefit? Because I certainly wasn't experiencing any benefits. So what was going on? So it wasn't taught how to disconnect. It wasn't taught how to handle the energy. It wasn't taught. None of that was taught. And I made a vow back then that I was going to find a way to disconnect, that it had to be important, because we closed down on lots of other things in life. You know, you hear people talk about closure all the time. So why is it any different in spirit, like spiritual connection, spirit world? Shouldn't be, should it? It shouldn't be any different. So I want to teach you how to close off, because whilst I love teaching you all the fun things and, you know, connection and all the ways, and we're going to do so much more. Like, I'm always here for you. This is not going this group. It's staying. It's here for good. And you're going to have to put up with me, or, you know, if you don't want to, just leave the group. It's not a problem. But you want to learn more, I'm here. I'm going to be showing you. I'm going to be telling you what I know. I'm going to be sharing. We're in this together. We're doing it together. But you're only going to get so far with this if you focus on connection. You're going to get drained. You're going to feel rubbish. You're going to feel like you're not making any progress. So if you want to make progress, you need to pay attention to this more than anything in the world. And it's one of the first things I teach them in psychic school, because it's so important. And I go on and on and on to them. Have you closed down? And I can spot them. And when they come to me with their questions, I'm like, you're still open. You haven't closed down. They're like, oh, I forgot. I'm like, you can't forget this. This is like this gospel. You have to do this. Like, for your general well-being and for your sanity, and also for your vibration, your energy, and all the things, you need to be able to do this. You need to be able to close down. You need to make it a priority. And they do eventually, but I have to keep reminding them. I'm going to sneeze. Hang on. Every time I say that, if you say you're going to sneeze and it goes up your nose, it did this yesterday. There we go, it's gone. So we need to find a way that we can close you down and disconnect. And I'm guaranteed that the people that follow this will have the most success with spiritual connection, and you'll feel the most inner peace, and you'll feel the most elevated. All the things that we go to spirit for, all the things we want from spirit, you're going to get. But I can also guarantee, and you need to watch the comments to understand this, and so I'm showing that I'm right, I can also guarantee that this will be the least viewed video out of all of the ones that I do for you, going from now, previous, and going forward. This will be the least one, because it's not about connection. It's not about feeling spirit. It's about not feeling spirit. But those that watch this will make the most progress. Will 100%. And you will change your life this week just by watching this. You'll change your energy levels, you'll change vibration, everything. So if you're watching this, well done. If you're watching this on replay, God, just keep watching, because it will change your life. And let me know. Maybe you can prove me all wrong. and say, well, actually, Katie, this was the most watched video out of all your videos, so stop moaning. But I've got a feeling it won't be. And the reason I know that is because I've done this a long time. I've took so many people through trainings, took hundreds of people all over the world, and this is the thing they focus on the least. But if you work with me one-to-one, it's the thing that we nail straight away, and they're the ones that excel. They're the ones that work with me. They're the ones that are psychics. They're the ones that are working in their everyday life and jobs, and they're receiving like highest vibration guidance all time. Ping, 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 ping. And it's clear, and they're making such progress. They're the ones that are living the lives that they desire because they've mastered this. So I can't stress to you enough how important it is. We're going to go through some ways of how to actually do it. So when we're disconnecting and closing down from spirit, it's all about, number one, finding a way that works for you. Number two, boundaries on what you will and won't accept as spirit. And number three, finding a way that you are feeling pulled to ground yourself right now. Okay, so disconnection, what did I just say then? Disconnection, boundaries, and where you're being pulled right now. Okay, so that's the grounding element. So it's about three components here. So number one, how you actually disconnect from spirit. How I disconnect personally is through meditation. Now, guys, I was rubbish at meditation. I could never do it. It took me years to master. And when I found a meditation that actually worked for me, it was very quick. So that's something we do in psychic school very, very quickly. So if you can, just remember that when you open up, you need to close back down. So when we are meditating and releasing, we need to release the energy we've absorbed. So if you've been out and about and you felt other people's energies, we need to let that go. And you need to let it come out of you. You need to ask your guides to release any energy that you've been holding on to that isn't yours. So I did this when I've been out in busy crowds. I did it yesterday. I was out in a big area yesterday. So I did it then and released and said, please release anything I've absorbed, let it out. And I wrapped light all around myself of the highest intention and light. Before I go into a busy environment, I do exactly the same. I say, please protect my energy, put me in a bubble, put me in a capsule, make sure I only feel my own emotions, and that you shield and guard me at all times. Now I do that all the time. And I went out yesterday and my friend was with me, was like, how come everybody's like doing everything for you? Or how come like people are just gravitating towards you, but just helping and giving you support? And I was like, oh, because I just asked spirit on the way in, and like she couldn't believe it. She's like, how is this even happening? They were just going to, like, if I said, oh, do you know, can you know where, tell me where this is? They'd come and they'd tell me all about the product and everything it does and the benefits and how I should have this one. And then they'd take me to the till and they'd bypass me through the queue. And I was like, no, you don't need to do that. No, it's fine. I'll wait in the queue. Just like, no, you come forward. I was like, oh, I felt like really uncomfortable then. But when I paid and left and everyone, she was like, how is this even a thing? People come up to me in the street and they're like, oh, I love you in that jacket. It's really nice. And they're like, are you having a lovely day? And she was just like, what's going on? And I was like, that's normal, it's spirituality. But it's because I asked for people to protect my energy, put me in a bubble and only attract what is really good for me in that moment. And that I will give love out into the world and I expect love to come back. And that's what I did. I put love out into the space around me and I expect to receive love back. So as a natural empath, which you all are, because you're interested in spirituality, you're connected in some way, you have to do this. Otherwise, what happens is you walk out and about and everyone just takes your energy from you. Not meaning to, but they just take, because they naturally come and tell you everything. They naturally just want to almost be near you. They want to touch you. They feel this need to be around your vibration, and it's like, oh, it gets too much and I just need to get home and just sit down with a cup of tea and by myself. So we don't want to do that. Whereas my experience was joyous. People came to me, but they supported. They found a way to help me with stuff. They found a way we just had a natural communication, a natural connection, and it was just a beautiful experience, and one that baffled my friend completely. So it was quite funny at the same time. So this is what you can do. So you literally close off. So I do meditations to ground myself and literally disconnect from spirit. Every single time I've opened up, I do that. The second thing I do is what I just said there, where if I'm going into busy environments or things where I know my empathy might be put on hyperspeed, like in a hospital or in a theatre or in an airport where everyone's like heightened emotions, then I'll ask myself to be put in the bubble and only be welcomed with support, love and great conversations and people that want to give love. And I give love out into the environment as well. So I'm going to give love out into the environment and I expect to receive like love back. And then that energy there is solid. It's a solid, firm exchange. It's a fair exchange. So they know that you're giving love out. You're in your little capsule and they're only sending through support, guidance, love. So you end up going out and feeling more energized. You end up feeling more energized around people's energy in social circumstances, situations. You radiate. There's something about you that people just want to be near you, but then you actually elevate your energy being in their company, not the other way around. You both exchange equally. So being an empathetic person doesn't mean that you have to be exhausted. Doesn't mean you have to give and you can't receive. That's not true. So that's the one way we do it. Number two is the boundaries. We need to think about the boundaries you're happy to accept. So are you happy for people to come and speak with you? Do you want that support? Do you want to just go out and not have anyone near you, not talk to you? Nothing. That's fine. You can do that. I'm quite a sociable soul, so I'll end up talking to people. But that's what I feel comfortable doing. So that's the boundaries I set. That we get served well, that people are responsive, people are fun and people give love and people give support. That's what I want. So if you don't want that, you kind of just want to go out, get your things and just get back in, then that's the boundary you set. The boundary is when I'm out and about in my human life, do my human things, I expect to be put in a bubble protection and I expect to be left to just get on with my life and just do my thing. I don't want to be bombarded by people. And then that's it. You've done it. Put your bubble around you, but before you put the bubble around, remember to release any energy that's stagnant, that's stored. Just ask your guides and it'll be taken away from you. It's as easy as that. Literally as easy as that. And it flows as simply. So these are the steps you can take. So boundaries, only you can set those. Only you know what you're comfortable receiving. Only you know if you're comfortable being woken up in the middle of the night. I'm not happy with that. I would not let spirit wake me up at 3 a.m. It makes me really grumpy. In fact, we have a fight. If they do that, we have a fight and I'm like, right, tomorrow we are having a chat. Watertight boundaries, no. Because I need my sleep. I need consistent sleep to be able to run the business and look after my family. And my energy levels, I need the sleep. So they know that's not okay. But they also know that I'm going to speak to them in the morning, my meditation, my practice. I'm going to journal to them. I'm going to sit in quiet meditation and talk to them so they can communicate then. So they don't need to wake me up at 3 in the morning. They know the boundaries. So where are your boundaries? And if you think about with the boundaries of the humans around you as well, not just spirit, because I often find with this work, when we disconnect, it's more that we're disconnecting from the humans. Like the spirits are sometimes the most easiest thing ever. It's more the humans. Who else finds that? Who else feels like it's the humans that are the problem? Or the ones that cause me the most strain? Or my family, I love them to bits, but gosh, they're draining on me. It is exhausting. And if that's the case, then you can ask for support from your guides, but you can switch yourself off from it. You can put instant disconnection between you and the person. You can actually say, I'm in this situation, I'm going to help this person, yet I do not want to feel their emotions. Release their emotions from me. I do not wish to feel them. If you're okay feeling the emotion, then you don't need to say that. But only you know what you're comfortable with. Only you know what your boundaries are. So think about that. Where are you comfortable? Where are you happy? So those are the things that you're going to have to sit and think about. In terms of grounding yourself, there's many ways that you can ground yourself. You've got to go where you feel pulled. So sometimes grounding yourself is going out and having a cup of tea with a friend. Sometimes grounding yourself is going out for a walk in nature and just feeling all the nature around you, breathing in the beauty and the scenic views. Sometimes grounding is watching a funny film. Sometimes it's reading a book, having a bath, lighting a candle, doing some journaling. Grounding can be different and will be different for each and every one of you. Sometimes grounding just simply stamping your feet on the ground. That's it. And just saying, I'm back to earth. I'm back in my human body. But only again, you will be guided and shown what is right for you to ground. And it will feel good. And it will feel like, oh, I've done it right because it feels centered. I feel like I've had a bit of a whew moment. Like, oh, that was good. You know, like if you finished your to-do list and you've ticked the last thing and you're like, oh, I've done all my list today. Oh, yay me. Feel good. Got spare time now. Oh, what shall I do? What's for me? So it will feel like that. You feel really calm, really comfortable, really at ease, really happy. So just going back to the first start about actual disconnection and closing down. As I said to you, the way I do it is through meditation, but you can actually just decide that you are shut off. You can actually just make a declaration, which is, Spirit, I release everything around me that is not for my highest of good, any energy that I'm storing, and I'm closing down and I'm disconnected to you. A declaration, you can just do that completely and that will work. So you can do things like actually visualizing maybe a door closing if you're visual. I'm closing the door to you and spirit. I'm closing the door to all the spiritual connection. I'm off now. Thanks very much. I'll be back with you soon. You can just do that. You can do anything that feels aligned to you. But you have to keep playing with this. You have to keep fine tuning. You have to keep trusting that whatever you choose will be the right thing and it will work. So my advice to you here is try all these things, but make this your focus because it'll be the thing that accelerates you more than anything. It'll be the best thing I can ever teach you. Okay, I'm going to come to your comments now. Hello, my darlings. I haven't been ignoring you. So who has some questions? Who can relate to this and who understands what I'm saying and resonates with it? Let's have a look. Does anyone have any questions? Just trying to bring up the live. It's not showing me the live in here. Please don't tell me after all that I'm live in the wrong group. No, I'm not. Yay! Here I am. I'd rather have animals. Andrea, I know. Aren't they just the most wonderful things? Sometimes it'd be nice to have a break from worrying, so boundaries would be good for that. Yeah, exactly. But Claire, you do really well at looking at the last 2 lives of this week. And just following those and just see how you feel. Sometimes I'm not sure if it's spirit in the middle of the night or perimenopause. It's always big worries and life decisions that wake me up. Yeah, I would definitely go and watch the previous 2 live streams from Monday and Tuesday because they will really help you because you'll understand where that's come from and cleanse it. Totally relate to what you are saying. This is something I need to start implementing today to feel more energized myself than I do already. Yes, absolutely. Especially with your line of work as well. Linda, it's really important. Jade is saying it's absolutely what I needed to hear, made me feel right in what I'm setting boundaries, etc. Yes, 100%. You're always guided with your boundaries. It's always good to trust those. Let's have a look. Let's see what else you're all saying. Let's have a look. Let's see what else you're... When people I know, sometimes the people get you off guard and drain you. Yes, Jane, sometimes they can. But again, that's you allowing that. You're allowing that boundary to be there. So set the boundary, you won't let that happen. When people I know going for an operation or whatever, I've been with them, I feel the pain they're going through. Is this another time I need to close myself down? It's happened since I was a little girl. Yes, I know exactly what you mean, Debbie. It used to happen to me in shopping centres and stuff when someone had either broke their leg or I'd see them in the distance and I couldn't quite see why they were in like a wheelchair, but I'd get pain in certain areas of my body and I'd be like, ow, 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 ow. So you shouldn't be feeling that unless you actually want to feel that. So what I would say is I would like to not feel this, I accept it, and I'd like to release this from my body. This is not something I want to feel, but I'm sending them love and I'm wishing them so much healing and a quick recovery. There you go. No one benefits from you being that switched on, guys. Like, how does it benefit anyone? It doesn't. So you have to remember, by turning this off and disconnecting, you're actually going to help more people, including yourself. So it doesn't benefit you feeling everyone's illness and emotion. You can't really do anything. How can you serve if you're constantly feeling it? You can't, can you? If you switch off from it, you can do so much more. Same with life decisions. If you're constantly worried about making life decisions and big choices, then how can you ever feel that you're actually serving your family or yourself by the choices you've ever made? You're constantly finding something new to worry about. So you're not living and appreciating any of them. So it doesn't matter what you essentially choose because you're not enjoying it anyway. Sometimes the people get you off guard. Oh yeah, I've answered that one. Okay. Yeah, so make sure if you are happy being woken up at 3 to 4 a.m, then that's okay, but it's just not for me. But make sure that you do set the boundaries that you feel is right for you. There we go. Right, guys, I'm going to be back next week with some more live streams. I have got Psychic School opening at the end of this month. You will be given plenty of notice. And I also have another little thing that's percolating behind the scenes for you all. But are you all enjoying these live streams? Let me know. If they are too long or too short or not informative enough, give me some feedback, let me know. But if you are loving this and you're finding it useful, also please let me know, because it really helps me then know what more content to actually create for you all, what you need. Because I'm here to help you, I'm here to serve. So just let me know how I can help you even more. And also, if you do think that these live streams are helping you and supporting you, please share them and ask other people to, not share them, sorry, you won't be able to share them. Ask people to join the group. So just invite people that only want to learn about spirituality though. Don't just invite anyone, but please feel free to recommend the group, invite them and share it on your socials. And yeah, just give us a little bit of a shout out, me and Spirit, because we're here to help people on a much grander scale, and any support that you guys can give me with that, I'd massively appreciate it. Also, if any of you have podcasts, I know there's quite a few business owners in here. So if any of you have podcasts, I am available to do interviews on spirituality, how you can get guidance from Spirit in your business, asking also about how you can actually grow as an individual with Spirit, how you can grow your spiritual connection, basically all the psychic things. I am the psychic expert. And not to sound like an absolute big head here, because I feel really embarrassed telling you all this, but I've done a fair few podcasts, right? I've been a guest on them. I don't have my own podcast, but I've been a guest on many. And 3 people told me over the past 2 weeks that have got huge audiences on their podcast that I was the #1 downloadable. Yes, my interview was the #1 that was downloaded. So if you would like to have that and would like to maybe boost your views or your listening, whatever it's called, then yeah, I'm available for podcast interviews. All right, so I'd appreciate that. Thank you so much, my darlings. Are the live streams on Facebook? I've missed Mondays. Yes, they're on this group, darling. So if you scroll to the top of this group and you'll see the featured posts, and they're all numbered and they're all titled, so you can see which one you want to watch and which one's speaking to you, so they're all there for you. Okay? But thank you so much. I love you all, and I'm seeing you all next week. Have a lovely rest of your week. Big kisses, big loves. Mwah. Remember, you're fabulous.